Welcome back. All right, so I know I mistitled the Sabres Carolina. I was thinking ahead to the Sabres Tampa tomorrow night, and I put Sabres versus Lightning. I apologize. So I already fixed it, but I understand that it goes out in the feed that way. It's fine. 14 games on Saturday, so this is the thing. I've been getting ready for Saturday today because I know how crazy it's going to be in that it's all day. So I'm posting the preview tonight because we got a bunch of games tomorrow. I might be able to get some video stuff done in between periods. I may do a video tomorrow morning before the games get started. We shall see. With that being said, it starts at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, with the New York Islanders and the Detroit Red Wings. And for the Islanders, they're doing really well right now. Detroit, not as much. So this is the first of three meetings. They'll meet again January 27th as well as March 4th. For the Islanders, they're 7-4. To get there, Anders Lee's been huge. 6 goals, 6 assists for him. Brock Nelson, 5 goals, 8 assists for him. So this is the kind of offensive total that you'd be looking for if you're the general manager, Lou Lamoriello. And I think this is part of the reason why we saw a change behind the bench. I think Lou figured this team has more talent than what we saw. And with Trotz's defensive systems, they're great when they work, but when they don't, it can just look like you're stifling offense. On the Detroit side, to get to 5-3-2, Perron's been good. 5 goals, 2 assists for Perron thus far this season, and Kubalik's been a revelation with 4 goals and 8 assists thus far. So yeah, Detroit, whichever players they bring in, it usually works out pretty well for them. It's the Stevie Y effect. Then at 2 Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific, this is where the NHL schedule doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's the second half of the doubleheader between Colorado and Columbus. You would think they'd want like all eyeballs on this. Not really. They have a game starting before and a game starting after and another game starting after. So it's just kind of just another hockey game unless you're in Finland watching it live. So for Colorado, they're 5-4-1 on the season now with the win. Columbus has dropped to 3-8. McKinnon has 3 goals and 13 assists. Remarkable start to the season. Makar got his first goal today to go with 9 assists. So 10 points for him. On the Columbus side, they're at 3-8. Johnny Gaudreau, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. He was all around the net today. Not a lot to show for it. We'll see if that changes tomorrow. Voracek had his first goal today as well. He now has a goal to go with 5 assists for 6 points. Columbus just needs a little bit of everything, really, from here. Losing 6-3 today. We'll see if they bounce back tomorrow and get a point, 2 points, something out of this experience overseas. And then at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, the Chicago Blackhawks in against the Winnipeg Jets. This is the first of 4 meetings. They'll meet November 27th, December 9th, and February 11th. On the Chicago side, they're 5-4-2 on the season. Patrick Kane has 2 goals and 8 assists thus far. Dickinson's only played 9 games, has 4 goals and 3 assists to show for it. On the Winnipeg side, 6-3-1 record. Scheifele, 6 goals to go with 1 assist. So he's below his usual point per game, but he has 6 goals in 10 games. Nobody's going to complain about that. Morrissey, 9 assists so far this season. So Josh Morrissey looking for his first goal, but 9 assists in 10 games is a pretty tidy total. Then the last of the matinee games is a 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. I am hoping I have enough time once this game's done to do a review of the first 4 games so that the other 10 are their own video later because, of course, there's power rankings, and then I have to do the preview for the Sunday games as well. So Dallas and Edmonton, this is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again December 21st as well as March 16th. On the Dallas side, they're 7-3-1 on the season. The Oilers are 7-4, so very similar records. Dallas has been very hit and miss lately. We'll see which Dallas stars show up tomorrow. Pavelski, 5 goals, 5 assists. No surprise, he's still performing really well. Roope Hintz with 5 goals, 9 assists for 14 points. Kind of a fantastic top line they've got in Dallas. On the Oilers side, you may have heard of McDavid. He has 12 goals and 12 assists for 24 points in 11 games. Is that good? I think it is. Evander Kane with 5 goals and 6 assists thus far, 11 points in 11 games. That's what they're paying him for. So both teams playing well. The Oilers looking to bounce back after a loss. Dallas drubbed the Arizona Coyotes and their new reverse retros. We'll see how this one turns out tomorrow. Then we jump ahead to 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games starting then. But there's a 3-hour split between these games and the ones coming after. I don't mind that schedule at all. So 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Arizona and Arizona and Washington. Starts with a W, same thing. January 19th, these teams will meet in Arizona. Arizona's 3-6-1 on the season. Keller's got 3 goals and 7 assists. Very good at getting points on a team that's not very good. Nick Ritchie, 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. I think all 4 of his goals are on the power play. And so, yeah, and I said this when they picked him up last year, and I'll say it again here. They've done a very good job of creating value. And Nick Ritchie, as a member of the Coyotes, we'll see if he gets moved between now and the deadline, which is, it's got to be coming up soon, right? Oh, I guess not. Anyways, Washington's 5-5-1 in the season. Kuznetsov just has the 7 assists so far. No goals for him. Mantha, a little underwhelming with just the 3 goals and 1 assist so far. There's some guys who are kind of in a rut right now in Washington. We'll see if they get out of it. Maybe a matchup against Arizona can get guys out of a scoring rut. Definitely worked for Dallas, so it might work for Arizona or for Washington against Arizona as well. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, and I expect a lot of people to be talking about this game no matter what happens. It's Boston, Toronto. It is always a noteworthy game. January 14th, February 1st, and April 6th will be the other 3 meetings. That's right. Toronto only plays Montreal 3 times this year. They got Boston 4 times. Pretty sure with that one that they only have 3 with Montreal. So Boston's 10-1. Hampus Lindholm's playing the best hockey of his career. He has 4 goals and 9 assists. Marchand's only appeared in 3 games, but he has a 3 goals and 1 assist to go for 4 points in those 3 games. So he's been good. On the Toronto side, 5-4-2, and they're looking to turn things around after a rough patch. Matthews 4 goals and 6 assists for 10 points. He's not scoring at the pace that we're used to, but he didn't early last season either. Tavares 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points. Not too shabby. He was really good in their last game. We'll see how things go. I do think Boston at 10-1, that's a ridiculous record. At some point in time, they're going to lose some games. I could see Toronto coming up with a big game tomorrow. We'll see what ends up happening. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. The Sabres will face Tampa Bay tomorrow. This is going to be a big one. This is the first of 4 meetings. November 28th, December 23rd, and February 23rd are the next meetings. So for Buffalo, this is a big game because they're coming off of a game against Carolina where Carolina was the better team, right? Through most of it. They had a really good first 10 minutes, and then things kind of fell apart from there. They're going to need to go into Tampa Bay and, again, show that they belong in this upper echelon because at 7-4, it's a good record. But if they start to fall back, there will definitely be fans in Buffalo who throw their hands up and go, see, it's all the same. Different players. It started off well again, but it's ending up all the same. So you want to make sure the naysayers and the doom and gloom doesn't take over, which is understandable in Buffalo. Absolutely. I get it. I do. It's been over a decade. But Dahlin with 7 goals and 8 assists. Hey, that goal counted with a 10th of a second left tonight. And Olofsson with 9 goals to go with 1 assist. So Victor Olofsson's back as a goal scorer. On the Tampa Bay side, they're 6-4-1. It feels like they're getting it together, even though they're coming off of a loss against Carolina. It was a shootout. Kucherov, 5 goals, 11 assists for him. Stamkos cooled off a bit since the fast start, but 7 goals, 5 assists for 12 points is still a pretty good total. Also at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, 2 teams trying not to fall out of relevancy here. Philadelphia and Ottawa. And you feel like Philadelphia had started to kind of fall apart. For Ottawa, it has as well, even though I think Ottawa played well in their last game against Vegas. So this is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again on November 12th and March 30th. For Philadelphia, they're 5-3-2 on the season. Farabee with 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points thus far. Lawton with 3 goals and 1 assist for 4 points thus far. You're looking for, I think, a little more out of Lawton. Farabee's been good when he's been in the lineup. But for Philly, you just want more offense in general, right? On the Ottawa side, they're 4-6, but Brady Tkachuk is having himself a season, isn't he? 6 goals, 9 assists for 15 points. And, people aren't really talking that much about Brady Tkachuk yet. They should be. 15 points in 10 games, last I checked, was pretty good. Claude Giroux has started putting the puck in the net, even from a distance. 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points, and that, of course, includes the goal over Logan Thompson that Thompson doesn't allow that 999 times out of 1,000, but we got that 1,000th that he did. So yeah, we'll see how things go for Ottawa. This is kind of, and it does seem early in the season, but it feels like this is a big game. The Atlantic Division is tough, and if Ottawa keeps dropping games, they're going to drop out of relevancy by the end of November. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Seattle and Pittsburgh. Seattle beat Pittsburgh 3-1 on October 29th. Pittsburgh needs revenge. Pittsburgh needs to turn the ship around because it's definitely going in the wrong direction. Seattle, on the other hand, they're 6-4-2. They've been good. Morgan Geekie with 4 goals and 1 assist thus far. Jared McCann, 5 goals, 3 assists thus far in the season. And we'll see if Geekie keeps this hot streak going. On the Pittsburgh side, they're 4-5-2. I talked in a video yesterday about Pittsburgh and the issues they got going on there. Brian Rust with 4 goals and 4 assists thus far this season. Raquel with 5 goals, which is good, but only the 1 assist. So just the 6 points thus far. But Raquel's been prominent in games for the Pittsburgh Penguins. We'll see if that continues. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between Vegas and the Montreal Canadiens. So this is the first of 2 meetings. The other will be in Vegas on March 5th. For the Vegas Golden Knights, they are 10-2 on the season, and they're just rolling. They win a game in Ottawa that, were they the better team through parts of it? No. But they got the win, and that's the key thing, right? So for Vegas, you've got Stone with 4 goals and 6 assists thus far this season. Riley Smith with 3 goals and 5 helpers. So a couple of good numbers there. And just in general, the depth for Vegas has been very good. They've got 3 scoring lines that can hurt you. On the Montreal side, they're 5-5-1. They're sticking in there. They're making themselves relevant for as long as possible. Kirby Dach has been good. 2 goals, 5 assists for 7 points thus far. And Caulfield's been excellent. 7 goals, 5 assists for 12 points. And you get the feeling that Caulfield should be able to maintain that and be around a point per game player this year, which isn't too bad, really. Then we fast forward 3 hours to get the next 3 games. And then, of course, there's a 7:30 start. I expect a shootout because it's California. But 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific start between Nashville and Vancouver. This is going to be interesting, too, because it feels like Nashville's starting to turn things around. But Vancouver's won 3 out of 4. Something's got to give here, right? So this is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again on February 21st and March 6th. And considering both teams reside in the bottom row in the power rankings, there's something on the line for them there, too. So for Nashville, they're 4-6-1 on the season. Duchesne with 3 goals and 8 assists. He's been good so far this season. The goal scoring not what it was last year, but we knew that would fall off a bit. Forsberg with 4 goals and 8 assists for 12 points. He's been good as well. On the Vancouver side, they're 3-6-2 on the season. JT Miller, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points. I think offensively he's been solid. Yes, defensively there have been issues. This JT Miller, he's always had some kind of issues defensively. The offense is pretty good. And Pettersson, 5 goals, 10 assists for 15 points. Pettersson's off to a remarkable start to the season and hoping to lead Vancouver to a comeback from what's been a slow start. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between the surprising and still rising in the rankings New Jersey Devils against a Calgary team that's not quite as confident as they were a week ago. This is the first of 2 meetings. Oddly enough, they'll meet on the 8th as well, so they have a couple of days, and then they meet again in New Jersey. For the Devils, they're 8-3 on the season. Bratt has set a new record for points to start the season as a Devil, with points in 11 straight. He's got 5 goals and 12 assists overall. Mercer with 4 goals and 2 assists. Dawson Mercer's very good. Both ends of the ice, and I think really there's so many good, young, talented players in New Jersey. They're a scary team to watch. On the Calgary side, they're 5-4, and they've fallen off. And Huberdeau, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. They need more from Jonathan Huberdeau. I understand he's getting acclimated and adjusted. I think there's some of that too with Gaudreau and Columbus, but they've got to start putting it together. Toffoli with 4 goals and 3 assists. I think he's played well. 7 points in 9 games is solid for Tyler Toffoli. And then we get into, actually, it's 2 7:30 starts. Are they both going to shootouts? So, yeah, San Jose at home against Anaheim. So, yes, they already had a shootout on the first. That was a 6-5 shootout. We'll see what happens in this one. They meet again on December 9th and January 6th. So, yeah, again, we'll see. For Anaheim, they're 3-7-1. And for San Jose, they're 3-8-2. So, it's a barn burner. To get to 3-7-1, Troy Terry's been doing his best at 5 goals and 10 assists. So I think Terry's been very good. And Strome, I think, has played well enough. 3 goals, 5 assists for 8 points. I think he's played well enough for them. It's just they need more. Anaheim doesn't have the horses that a lot of the teams they're playing against do. For San Jose, they're 3-8-2 with Timo Meier getting it going. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists now. Took him a while to get that first goal, but with goal scorers, usually when they get that first goal, they'll then come in bunches. Carlson with 10 goals, 8 assists for 18 points. That's ridiculous. That's too high. So 18 points in 13 games is too high for Carlson. But, you know, enjoy the ride while it lasts. Who knows? Maybe he puts up another 3 or 4 points against the Ducks tomorrow. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start between Florida and the LA Kings. First of 2 meetings, they'll meet in Florida on January 27th. For Florida, they're 6-4-1 in the season. And they've just been underwhelming. I've been very surprised at how Florida doesn't play that same way, and it feels like they're not the same team this year. I think some of that's probably Paul Maurice has changed things around. Maybe they're just getting adjusted. But they don't look the same. Barkov, 2 goals, 7 assists thus far. Not Barkov-like totals, but he'll get it together. And Verhaeghe with 5 goals, 4 assists. I think has been a solid player for them up front. On the LA side, they're 6-6-1. I'm wearing LA because I think LA's due for another good game. LA's been one of these teams that is very up and down so far this year. It's hard to get a read on them. So again, with the power rankings for tomorrow, LA's one of those teams that it's tough. Because on one night, they can look absolutely fantastic. And then in their next game, they're porous defensively. Their goaltending isn't fantastic. It's just, it is so hard to get a read on what could happen. So I'm taking LA because why not? So it's 6-6-1 for LA. Fiala with 3 goals and 10 assists. He's been very good. They probably want a goal or 2 more, but he's been on the third line at points as well. Danault, the scoring's dropped a bit to 4 goals, 3 assists, but everybody else is picking up the slack. And I think part of it may very well be Velarde's getting those points that Danault had a year ago. Danault's probably fine with that, and I would think Gabe Vilardi would be as well. But let me know your winners in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. It's going to be a busy Saturday. I will talk to you again soon.